We don't use a lot of computers. We pretty much everything is done by hand, which gives us more flexibility to create, and we feel to just make a better looking product.
Every Great River door starts with a conversation. What do you want your door to look like? The options are many. Size, type of wood, glass, design, carving, and accents are just the beginning. Great River produces their doors from scratch from dimension lumber, much of which comes from local mills. Great River produces their own designs and does all parts of door production in-house. For some specialty components, such as etched glass or custom hand-forged metal, we work with local artists. Most Great River doors are built from pine, cedar, or knotty alder. Some customers choose to have their doors made from reclaimed pine or fir. Nothing adds character like wood that has endured decades of service. Nail marks, bolt holes, staining, patina, weathering, and natural distress all add to the story of your distinctive door. The doors are made separately from the decorative panels. Doors from Great River are crafted with a laminated core that is similar to a butcher block. Sections are secured with mortise and tenon joints, never dowels or bolts. Relief cuts are added to remove stress, assuring there will be no warping or twisting. Unless you choose to apply the final finish yourself, Great River doors are finished with top-quality Sikkens products. Consumer-grade varnish or polyurethane may look good, but aren't up to Great River standards for exterior doors. Your door will likely need a reapplication, but it may be years, if ever, depending on the door's exposure to the sun. Consumer-grade doors are only 1 3/4 inches thick. All Great River doors are 2 1/4 inches thick, adding stability and increasing insulation. Each decorative panel is custom made by hand. Nothing is done with lasers, stamping, or CNC machining, assuring your door is absolutely unique. First, a rubber covering, or what we call a resist material, is adhered to the panel. The design is then drawn or transferred to the resist, and then the resist is cut and removed, exposing the wood, which will be sand carved. Here we see Irene carving the design from the rubber material. Next, the panel is sand carved or sand blasted. This is done twice with increasingly fine grit. The parts covered with the membrane are protected, leaving the background wood as the design. At this point, some panels are ready to be hand-sanded, stained, and attached to the door. But shapes with more intricate design will be carved, sanded, and finished all by hand. The detail work makes the animals stand out from the background, becoming much more lifelike.
So we bought the house the lot in 2010, and then we started building in June of 2015. One day the contractor said, you need to go and pick out your doors and your windows at the lumber yard. It's okay. So I went to the lumber yard, and we sat down with the fellow there and picked out the windows that we wanted, and picked out the interior doors, and found an exterior door for the side of the house. But I wasn't really finding anything that I liked for the main entrance. They had a lot of booklets that had steel and fiberglass, solid colored 6-panel doors. And we just wanted something that accentuated the logs a little bit, and that the logs would accentuate in return. And so I came home and told the contractor I hadn't really had any luck with the main door. And he said, well, whatever you do, don't get a wooden door. And I said, well, I think a wooden door would be great. He said, well, you're in northern Minnesota, and In the winter, it's going to be 30 degrees outside and 65 degrees inside. They warp, they swell. In the summer, they shrink. It's just not a good thing. I don't want to put a wooden door on. So I wasn't happy with that, so I went and talked to John at the log shell, Anderson Log Homes, and he sent me down to see Brent at Great River Door in Brainerd. So I got in touch with Brent. He said, come on down. You can see our warehouse. I'll show you around. I'll show you some sample doors. And we went in and saw some sample doors that he had, and I knew right then and there, I'm going to have one of these doors if I can afford it. So we sat down and we kind of talked about what we wanted for a door in terms of windows and a scene and what our budget was, and he gave us a time frame of what his construction process would involve, and I have to tell you, it was one of the few projects that was what he told us it was going to cost. That's what it cost, and when he told us it would be done, it was done. So just a great experience. We're 6 years later. The door still looks like it did the day we brought it home. It looked great. Well, for a wood door, it's just solid. Everybody kind of said you're going to have problems with the wood door. We haven't had any problems with the wood door. It looks just like it did the day that we brought it home 6 years ago. So we love the way it looks with the cabin, and we love how it's holding up. It's everything we wanted in a door, really. I think most people tell you the first thing that they see when you come to the house is your front entrance door. That's what people notice, and we found that to be the case here. Like I said, everybody walks up and it's either, oh, your gardens are so beautiful, or where did you get that door? That door is awesome. So I'm not a wow person. I don't want people going wow, because I know wow is either that's really bad or wow, that's over the top. We just kind of want something that looked really good with our logs, and I think that's what we got. And so this is kind of what Brent came up with for us. It had the conifer trees that we're surrounded by up in northern Minnesota, and we've got lots of big rocks down by our lake, so that kind of stood out to us as it kind of looks like a scene from our house.
We want to be as upfront about everything, about all the costs, and make that very clear, and so everybody understands what's coming and what we're going to do. And so we've had very few problems over the years. In 16 years of business, we have done an awful lot of doors, and we've made a lot of friends, and I don't think we've made any enemies. So that's the way we try to do business here.